Okay, everybody, Hunter Elliott here, rangehot.com. This afternoon I'm actually working with an American Tactical AR carbine chambered in 9mm. This is actually called their Mill Sport. And there's a couple things about it that I like. There's a couple things about it that I don't like. But anyway, I've already shot this for some accuracy. We've got, I don't know, just a few mags through it. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to just run a couple mags through it, show you how reliable it's been. The really cool thing about this is it works off Glock mags. So this is the old giggle stick here, 33 round Glock mag. We're about 35, 40 feet away. I'm going to show you how she works. Alright. Cool thing is, not only does it work well with the Glock 33 round mags, it works with the Glock 17 mags. This is a Magpul P mag for the Glock 19. Alright, and what I think is actually pretty cool, I sometimes carry a little Glock 26, you know, the baby Glock 9mm. Well, guess what? The little baby Glock mag. So, alright, so what I'm going to demonstrate now is I've got 3 or 4 different types of rounds in this magazine. I've got some 115 grain full metal jacket. I got some 124 grain jacket hollow point. I got some 147 grain, just kind of a truncated cone. I've got a couple of factory defensive rounds. Some are subsonic, some are supersonic. What I want to show is that this gun is reliable with a series of different style bullet profiles and power factor in the same mag. So here we go. I'm not exactly sure how many rounds are in it, so we're just going to shoot it dry. Out of a rifle. So I thought, you know what, let's try to get some groups at 100 yards with it. So that's what we're doing. I've got probably, I'll have to look back on the book, but there's a couple 300 to 400 rounds through this of various kinds. Didn't have any malfunctions. There's a couple things I like about it and a couple things I don't like about it. And I want to kind of go over some of that with you. Y'all know my buddy Rick. He's shot this rifle, shot a couple mags to it as well. So we're going to just talk a little bit about it and where we're at. I'm going to start with the concept of a 9mm carbine. Something like this 9mm I think would be ideally suited in an SBR platform, but I understand also the fact that there's a lot of states you can't get SBRs, and even if you can, it is a pain in the ass. I can understand the fact that they're going to offer this in a 16-inch. This very model is also offered in a pistol as well, but this is the carbine, and so I like the concept. My thought is, if you carry a Glock 9mm, these use Glock mags, and so if you're already, your sidearm or your home defense gun is a Glock, you've got a plethora of Glock or aftermarket mags, then you're good to go. As you saw in the video earlier, this thing will run equally well with factory Glock as well as the Magpul P mags, and it comes with these new clear mags, and I've shot it with all of them. It ran well. I've spoken to a couple manufacturers that build ARs, and I was told that to build an AR-15 and 9mm, to make it 100% reliable with the gamut of what's available commercially for 9mm is very difficult to do. MSRP on this is around $900. When it ships, it actually doesn't have any sights on it. It just comes as a flat top. These are some old, you know, Magpul flip-up sights I had on another rifle. So, so at that price point, I would like to see some sights on the gun. I did take the flash hider off, which is as an A2 style flash hider. But here's the deal, I got it threaded off, all excited to put my silencer on it, and the damn thing is metric thread. But I mean, in my opinion, if you're going to have a 9mm carbine, as popular as silencers are, I would have this, you know, in the standard 1/2x28 thread cut, and that way you can just thread your can right on it instead of trying to find a metric adapter. So it does come from the factory with key mod, which I know the key mod accessory attachment system is very popular, and it works well enough. Personally for me, again, I prefer a Picatinny rail. I feel like the pick rail is a little sturdier. You know, you've got a pick rail machined into your aluminum handguard, and then whatever accessory you're running, it clamps to the pick rail. But here again, these are just personal opinions that I've got that may or may not be a deal breaker for anybody else. You know, Rick, you've shot it. What are your thoughts?
It's a great shooting piece. I'm right there with you on the talking points of things you like to see different. At that price point, I would assume some decent sights would come with it instead of just being a straight flat top there. Also, you know, Picatinny rails all around would be nice. Other than that, I enjoyed shooting it. What I'm coming up kind of confused about is practicality.
Right.
What if you were to sell this to me right now, on what grounds would you say I would be using it the most?
Well, that's a great point. We're going to just take out the fun factor. It is very fun to shoot. Absolutely. 9mm is inexpensive, but let's just take the fun factor out. My selling point to anyone would be, when I go out of town personally, I always take my defensive sidearm, but I always take a carbine with me, always, and it's generally an AR-15 in either 5.56 or 300 blackout. And a lot of times my carry gun is a Glock 17. So I'll carry a Glock 17 and a handful of mags. Well, if I was going to go out of town and I wanted to carry a carbine, y'all have seen me do a 9mm ballistics test, carbine versus handgun. And though the 9mm is a nice defensive cartridge out of a handgun, out of a 16-inch barrel, there's a hell of a difference. So the convenience factor of grabbing a pistol and a carbine, both chambered in the same caliber, both using the same magazines. So if you've got a handful of your spare Glock mags in your go bag, you know, bam, bam, you're good to go. It does not lock the bolt back on an empty magazine. We can all see the rifle here is clear. I'm going to ride the bolt home, put empty mag in. So I think that would be my primary selling point, would be convenience factor of mag and ammunition interchangeability. It does have a pretty nice collapsible stock. One good thing about it is a lot of these rifles that you see do not come with a dust cover or a forward assist. I am very thankful that it does have a dust cover and a forward assist. Even though it is not gas impingement or piston, this particular carbine is direct blowback. Being a 9mm, you know, carbine, there's no gas system or anything. Less moving parts equals more reliability.
I thought it was great. At that,
like wow,
you said,
that's what you
point,
got.
Yeah,
I thought it was great.
I'll tell you what I would love to do with this. Get some good sights on it and take this out to Friday night fights, range 37.
You know, that would be a lot of fun.
That'd be a good test for it right
That
there.
would be, you know, or even, you know, like a red dot. Run a red dot on it. I understand, you know, a lot of times manufacturers leave sights off because people have their very particulars about sights and optics, but I really like it. The convenience factor of magazine and cartridge interchangeability with my sidearm is a big plus. Well, cool. Well, look, we're wrapping this up. I'm going to go in and get a cold beer and take it easy. So I appreciate you watching, reading Range Hot. As always, the ammunition that we shot out of this and the groups that it printed will be in a chart on rangehot.com. So go by there, check it out. Let me know what you think. Got any questions or comments, feel free to email me or Facebook and let me know. Man, y'all take care of yourself and each other, and I look forward to seeing you in the range.
You still buying me a Happy Meal after this?
Yeah, we'll get in the car and head on out.
Thanks.